Actually, I was really reaching out here and saying that the Broncos were going to cover 14 against your precious Chiefs, and they did. They kept it within 6. Just another day as a Bronco fan. You never know what's going to happen.
Did they? How drunk was I?
Oh yeah, dude. They made it a good game. So
That's
Dally?
how you know you're a Broncos fan. They made it a good game. All right. We got some Pink Whitney tonight. A little bit for the boys. Here's to you. Here's
That
the
come with the
Broncos
tampon. Come with the tampon.
Cheers, big ears.
Riley's jumping in on the shot too.
Are we all doing one?
Yeah, what I
All right. My bet this week is to Lordy. It's got to be Jordy by 40. I'm taking the Packers play the Lions this week. And I'm taking the Lions straight up. Just
I like that.
give me the Lions.
I like
Jordy,
that.
will you take that bet for a shot?
Turn it up.
Is it at Ford Field or is it at Lambeau?
It's,
Don't matter.
Don't matter, boy.
It doesn't matter where it's at. Aaron Rodgers is an MVP again.
No,
Dallas.
he's not. No, fuck no. Mahomes is.
Dude, it's kind of up in the air. There's really no one impressing me this year anyways.
All right, before we get into another argument and you call me General Custer, let's get to our picks here.
You called
right.
yourself General.
You started that.
All right. Our first game of the week, one of my favorite teams in the whole wide world, the Arizona State Sun Devils, travel to the University of Arizona, the Wildcats. ASU is a 11-point favorite. Twitter said 85% ASU. I'm taking ASU as well. Lane, who do you like in the Sun Devil versus U of A game?
I actually do also have the Sun Devils. I think the spread was 11. I think that's going to be an easy win for them. I'm all about Edwards and what he's got going on down there, so I have Arizona State in this one. Burn me.
ASU's offense is about 40 yards and 3 points better than Arizona's. Their defense is about 10 yards and 6 points less. I think ASU, but it's a close one down in the dirty T. Sun Devils close one. Riley, what do you think?
I have Arizona going into this one. The battle of the Pac-12 beatings. They're going to be looking for a win. I don't know. Arizona, I just feel like they're going to pull it out. Herm doesn't have it for ASU. He's ASU's head coach, right? This just shows how much I watch college football.
Right back at you. Words of Herm Edwards. You play to win the game. That's exactly what Arizona State does this week. Kevin Sumlin should have taken time off instead of going to Arizona. Now he's going to be out of a head coaching job here probably at the end of the year. Devils roll.
And you'll be out of cheeseburgers in your basement. All right, next game is Utah at 21. Next game is Utah at number 21, Colorado. The Buffalo are a 2-point favorite here. Twitter took Colorado by 78 to 22% over Utah. I'm rolling with the Buffs as well. Lane, who do you like in this one?
This is battle for mediocrity. Mediocrity? Is that a word? Mediocre.
Keep up, Anonymous.
Keep everywhere. You got the easy one.
Okay, you fucking nerds. I'm gonna go ahead and just say Colorado's gonna win this one. Utah really hasn't impressed me. This is another Pac-12 team that just pulled them. I don't really care about. But Colorado's, they're 21. They're rolling. Twitter seems to think that 71%. I'm gonna have to agree with them. Josh?
Problem with Colorado is they could go undefeated realistically and not make the practical championship game, which would be a big old chip burger. But I hate Colorado, so I don't really care. They're averaging 245 yards a game on the ground, which is unbelievable. I love it. I don't think Utah has an answer for that. Colorado keeps going. They're going to win this one by over 2 easily. Probably double digits, potentially double digits. So, Riley, what do you think?
Even though that Utah's on a 3-game winning streak against Colorado, I pick CU. They're at home. They're going to roll. I think that's pretty good bet. I definitely take the 2. That seems a little low, actually. I think they're going to.
It does. Jardy?
I think one of the better things to happen to Colorado football in recent memory was that Mel Tucker bolted on them, because whoever the coach they got now that was an in-program hire really has the boys firing around playing. I think they take this one. Utah just doesn't have the firepower. They lost a lot of dudes to the NFL, and it shows. Yeah. They're really missing Zach Moss, who has been an absolute bitch on my bench in fantasy. Thanks. I can't even think of the guy's fucking name from ESPN who said he might be a sleeper pickup.
Mel Kiper?
It wasn't Mel Kiker. I hate that guy.
Oh,
Kiker.
Kiker.
All right, moving on to our Saturday game. Saturday to kick it off, we've got number 9, the Georgia Bulldogs, traveling to number 25, Missouri. Missouri being a 13-point underdog. Twitter likes Georgia. 63% of Twitter voted for Georgia. I'm also taking the Bulldogs. They got, I think, one of the better defenses in the NCAA. I rely on them a little bit against Missouri. Missouri is a decent team, but again, the Bulldogs get it in this one, I think. Lane, who do you like in the game here?
I also agree. I think Georgia's going to win this game. They do have a decent defense, and I do appreciate that. Missouri, I mean, they're playing okay, but they're nothing like what Georgia has and what they typically are. So I'm going to go ahead and take the number 9 Georgia Bulldogs. Borm?
I think it could potentially turn into another shootout like we saw with Missouri and Arkansas last week. Georgia's defense kind of been exposed this year, and they're giving up 260 passing yards a game, which isn't terrible, but Missouri really leans on their passing game. So I think Missouri keeps it close, but the Dogs win. Riley, what do you think?
I'm going with Georgia as well. I think they're just doing pretty good this year. Missouri never. Anytime I've ever watched a Missouri game, they always choke. I think it's just me though. Missouri,
Bad
when I
luck.
start, they just don't do well. I was at the Wyoming game last year when they got smoked, and I just never had any faith in Missouri. So Georgia all the way.
Hiya.
JD?
I agree with you. Georgia is having a good season for a team that let a guy who's going to go number 2 in the draft just walk away because they had to play Jake from State Farm. Georgia is one of the, if not the most talented defense in America. Large humans everywhere. Missouri and their head coach, Eli Dinkwitz, getting them to 25 in his first year. That's huge. That's good for the program, but Georgia's in another planet. They beat the fuck out of Missouri.
Cool.
All right, number 11, Boomer Sooner, Oklahoma, going to West Virginia. West Virginia being a 13.5-point underdog. Twitter liked Oklahoma. 78% of Twitter said Oklahoma. I'm also joining them. I think Oklahoma rolls here. I really like them in this game, especially this specific matchup. Lane, who do you like?
God, I hate choosing Oklahoma over the Mountaineers, but Oklahoma's going to win this one, unfortunately. I do think that, comparable, they've got some pretty good talent on the West Virginia side, but Oklahoma's going to win this one. Josh?
With Oklahoma's clinched a spot in the Big 12 championship game next week, I think they probably get up big and kind of rest and coast, and I think West Virginia probably backdoor covers, maybe scored on some backups. But I think Oklahoma wins. Riley?
Yeah, Oklahoma's got it. I just think last year they smoked them 52-14, and I just don't think that West Virginia has it. They don't have what it takes to beat Oklahoma.
Not so fast, my friends. West Virginia is undefeated at home in Morgantown this year.
You
The
don't
Sooners roll
go
in.
to Morgantown.
Take me home, country roads. West Virginia Mountaineers. Fire the guns, fire the cannons, drink the moonshine. Call Pat McAfee, call Pat White. Let's have a party.
Pat White.
What about Geno Smith?
Oh, also
Yeah.
call Noel
Yeah,
Devine,
baby.
call
I
Steve
never seen
Slayton,
a guy knocked
call
out.
Owen
Pat
Schmidt,
White.
that crazy
Tavon
fucking
Austin.
fullback. Get Rich Rod back in town. Let's
Tavon
go.
I'll get behind the Tavon Austin. Or no, I guess it was Percy Harvin. Never mind. I'm sorry.
That's
Tavon
fair.
Austin.
Davon Austin was the right guy.
No,
Tavon
yeah.
Austin
I was
there.
thinking of something else, and it was Percy Harvin. But don't.
Percy Harvin was the guy that talked Brett Favre out of a Super Bowl.
I was thinking of my other name,
Well,
my nickname.
Percy Harvin also, I saw, got stoned for every single NFL game he ever played in.
It makes sense.
I thought it was Tavon Austin, but
The GOAT.
No,
I was
I
wrong.
think Tavon Austin got shot in the head.
Well,
I
we
think
should
it's
have
all
stayed in
right.
that.
Virginia, you're just gonna party.
Can we move on?
We got to go on to what is one of my favorite games of the week. The Cornhuskers. The Cornhuskers host the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Golden Gophers were supposed to be something special this year. It hasn't turned out that way. Nebraska is a 10.5-point favorite here. Twitter also liked Nebraska. 60% of Twitter said Nebraska will win the game. I'm taking the Huskers as well. I really, really, really like the McCaffrey kid. I think he's nice. They kind of play him right where he needs to be. I'm
Nice
going to
guy.
take Nebraska. Lane, why don't you go ahead and tell us your little story down there?
So
Don't use what I said.
last week, 2 weeks ago, I you. I said that Nebraska, every time I choose them, they let me down. And Josh's like, oh, you only choose them once and they lost. I'm like, exactly. Every time I've chosen them, they've lost. So, unfortunately, Josh, if Nebraska loses this week, it's because I've chosen them. I think they're going to beat Minnesota. They got 10.5. So,
Dude,
I will take the blame if Nebraska loses this week. Sorry.
nice. Good for you, Lane. It's always nice to see someone grow.
Stop.
Sounded a little gay.
Go ahead, buddy.
Oh, Nebraska's had a hard time stringing stuff together over these past 3 years under Frost. This is a great opportunity to string 2 wins together against a struggling Minnesota team that give up 450 yards a game, 35 points a game. They haven't played in 2 weeks. It's got all the makings for Nebraska. So, yeah, they're probably going to lose. But I'm taking the Scourge because, God damn it, I love them. Riley, what do you got?
I'm taking Minnesota. I think the 2 weeks off.
Oh!
I think last year they beat them by over 4 touchdowns. Well, 34-7. So 4 touchdowns they beat them by, and I think
Good last year.
that it's not going to be close, or it's not going to be that far ahead. It might be a closer game this year. I had it 24-20, Minnesota for the upset.
Good
Probably.
pick.
That's not because people in this video, this podcast, like Nebraska. That's just what I feel like is going to happen. I think Minnesota's got it. Like I said, 2 weeks off. That's going to benefit them.
Good
Ready?
pick. Good pick. Minnesota spent much of this year up a creek without a paddle. You can't really row a boat without a paddle. Well, Nebraska's going to give them a fucking paddle, and they're going to fucking find their merry way. Go Gophers.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Number 17, North Carolina travels to Miami. Miami being a 3.5-point favorite here. Twitter liked Miami. 56% of Twitter voted Miami, the Hurricanes. I don't think the Golden Shower Hurricanes win this one. I'm taking North Carolina, the Tar Heels. And I basically don't want to pick Miami because I hate a guy that Jordan Newirth is great friends with. We got drunk in Scottsdale one time, and he tore my bathroom apart. So then right then and there, I said, I am never trusting a Miami Hurricane again. They're done. They're out. Might as well kill them. They're out of my book. So I'm taking the Tar Heels.
What a death
What's
threat
his
on
name
me.
again, Jordan?
What's his name?
Is that the only reason?
McBride. Josh McBride. Josh, you owe me $400. Lane,
Okay.
who are you picking?
How'd you find $400? You had to paint a wall.
Oh, he didn't tell you.
Spackling cost a lot.
He vomited on the
Get
side
out.
of the little paneling and broke all the paneling.
What are you, an Uber?
A bathroom's a bathroom, buddy. You go into one every day, especially you live there. It should be nice.
All right, shut up.
Like you probably
Miami is going to win this game. They are my top 8. They are number 8 coming in hard. They're going to finish top 8. This is going to be an easy win for the Hurricanes over North Carolina. For me.
Miami looked a little shaky against inferior competition until they just beat the absolute brakes off of Duke last week. I think they're kind of turning the tide. 2 unbelievable offenses in this game, and Miami's defense is just like 10 yards better. So it's going to be a great game, and I think Miami maybe makes one play late on defense to win the game. Great game. I got the Canes. Riley, what do you got?
I got North Carolina. They handled them last year. They're going to handle them again this year.
Okay.
Miami's going down.
Good
I don't
call,
think-
Riley Betty.
I don't like Miami either, but it's not because someone shit all over my bathroom. Few calls in my bathroom. Sorry.
She'll want
Good
me to.
What's that?
Manny Diaz. Good damn pick.
Hey,
I like this pick.
thanks.
I'm going North Carolina as well. And I say it every time we have North Carolina. This is a prove-it game for Sam Howell and Mac Brown. They're going to come out. I think they are so electric on offense. I think they can just stun the Hurricanes. Just they've been off again, on again. I mean, do they really care at this point? They know they're not in the playoffs.
They are 8-1.
Mac Brown's going to get the boys firing. I'm going with the Heels.
Great job, Jerry. All right, next game. The Purdue Boilermakers at number 12, Indiana. One of Lane's favorite teams, Indiana. Indiana, a 10-point favorite here. 91% of Twitter voted for Indiana, and I'm agreeing with Twitter on this one. Indiana's a nice team. I doubt them early on in the year, but they've this is a prove it game for Indiana. As Jared, hey, Lordy, it's a prove it game. All right, Lane, who do you like, buddy? Who's gonna roll?
I'm gonna keep going with my love for this team this year and the coach and everything. Indiana's gonna roll. I think it's 10-point favorite.
Yep.
Oh God, they're gonna put up 21 points on these guys. So go Indiana. Bore me.
So you're betting the house.
How's the house? I'm betting the house. Yeah, I'm done doubting Indiana after what they did last week with a backup quarterback, and they just beat Wisconsin 14. Obviously, they can get it done with their defense, and Purdue's offense looked shaky against Nebraska. So if they can get pressure on Purdue, then I think Indiana's going to be able to do it all day long. Might be a low-scoring game, but I got Indiana. Riley, what do you think?
I think if Plummer, the QB for Purdue, is on and his defense actually comes to play, I have Purdue winning it. I had last year it was 8-4 team versus 4-8 team, and it was 44-41. Indiana barely squeaked it out. I think it's a pretty tough team. It's a pretty potent offense when they're on. Like you said, they were not on against Nebraska, but I like Plummer, that QB for Purdue, and I think he's going to shine. This will be a good game for him against a ranked opponent. Get him a good win and go Purdue, Boilermakers.
JD.
I think Jeff Brom's one of the better young coaches in the Big Ten, but for whatever reason, this year is not treating them well, and Rondale Moore is going to be gone, and they aren't beating Indiana. They do not have a lot of problems right now. That guy should have bolted for the Louisville job.
All right, our next game is what I think one of the better matchup games this year. We've got Wisconsin traveling to number 16 Iowa. Iowa being just a half a point of a favorite here. 50% to 44 picked Iowa on our Twitter poll. I am also rolling with the Hawkeyes. Lane, who do you like in this one and why?
That don't add up, boy.
Yeah, the math. I'm no mathematician.
Dr.
But that
Twitter
math-
CEO, not me. And Lane, after your little math problem last week, let's just easy on the bullying.
Can I get my pick here? Thanks, bud. This is a tough one. I can never rule out Iowa or Iowa State, but the Iowa teams are so good. But Wisconsin, I mean, I really think that Wisconsin's going to win this one. It's going to be a good game, a very good game. But yeah, I got Wisconsin in this one.
Wisconsin does what different than the past couple weeks?
What do they do different?
Yeah.
Well, they
Win.
look at look who they played. I mean, Indiana. I'm not going to say anything bad about Indiana. Indiana's great. Wisconsin is O-line U, one of them, one of the three. I've said Notre Dame, Alabama, Wisconsin. As long as they get those guys rolling, then they're going to put up some points. So that's why I have Wisconsin. For me?
Wisconsin has scored a combined 13 points in their 2 losses this year. Good defense is kind of feast on this Wisconsin offense. Graham Mertz did great against Illinois, but then he goes and plays Northwestern or plays Indiana, and they just can't move the ball. Iowa's defense hasn't given up more than 24 points since they gave it 28 to Nebraska, and that was 2 years ago. I think Iowa's defense is too good, and Iowa's won 5 in a row. They're rolling. Wisconsin can't play against a good defense, so I like Iowa here. Riley, what do you think?
Iowa's my pick.
Jerry?
That's it. Yeah.
Teams gonna clash.
It'd be tough for me to pick against Kirk's parents. They know what the fuck they're doing. Wisconsin clearly has a young quarterback who has played traditionally. Well, Northwestern traditionally tries to play Big Ten ball. Indiana kind of figured it out this year, but Iowa should be everything and more in this game. Wisconsin's trending very, very down this year.
All right.
Not doing well, Dallas.
Next is Lane's favorite team, the Oregon Ducks. They host Washington, Oregon being a 6-point favorite here. Twitter said 60% of Twitter took Oregon, and I am also going to roll with the Ducks here. They've kind of struggled a little bit, Lane. What do you think Oregon has to do to turn around this week against Washington?
There's too much. There's not enough time for me to say. Oregon has done nothing but let me down these last 3 weeks. Did they lose back to back, or was there an in between? I don't remember. It doesn't
Lost
matter.
2 in a row, but then they lost to UCLA. They barely beat UCLA the week before.
Yeah, they're not the team that I thought that I'd been bragging about for a couple months now. I don't know. They just got to kind of get moving. Their defense isn't what I thought. I thought their defense was going to be okay. Oregon State proved that their offensive line is far more superior than their defensive line. And, you know, they should win Washington. You know, Washington's good. They snuck in a good win last week, but I don't know. But I'm going to obviously take Oregon here. I think, you know, when they are playing, they're playing great. So I got Oregon for me.
I'd say these are two really comparable teams on paper, just based on stats. Oregon's offense is a little bit better, but Washington's defense is a little bit better. Neither one's, you know, elite or great in any way. I'm going to give Oregon the slight edge coming off of back-to-back losses, and they're at home. I think it's a very close game, great game, but Ducks win. Right?
I have Oregon. I will say though, if Tyler Show, however the heck you pronounce that Oregon's quarterback's name, if he turns the ball over, they lose. He's turned the ball over every single game they played this year, and I think if he has those problems again, it's gonna be a close one.
He's no Justin Herbert.
This is true.
Perfect. Jerry?
There's no Jeremiah Masoli. Yeah, how the mighty have fallen. Just a few years ago, these were the class of the conference. Both teams have been in the playoffs. They just look so bad compared to how traditionally great they've been. So it's kind of shitty to watch both programs right now be like that. It's a tough year. Oregon, there's no way they can lose 3 in a row. I said there's no way they were going to lose to Oregon State. Said there's no way they lose 2 in a row. Now I'm saying there's no way they're going to lose 3 in a row.
We'll be back next week.
It's probably Washington, but I'm going Oregon. I just can't see them losing 3 in a row. Mario Cristobal and everything. Like, that's insane. I know they have people sitting out, but they're a much better program than 3 losses in the Pac-12. My
In a
God.
row.
Insane. Jordy, talking
That's
about
disgusting.
insane and disgusting. It's funny you bring that up. Next, we've got the Vols from Tennessee. They travel to Vanderbilt this year.
Fuck you.
Vanderbilt being a 14-point favorite here.
Fuck you. How
Tennessee,
about that? How about that?
Tennessee being 60%, Jordan. You must have a bunch of girlfriends on Twitter because 67% of people on Twitter voted for the Vols. I myself, I like what the Vols,
Slap the piss out of you.
I like what the Vols said last week. I'm going with Tennessee.
What they do? They lost.
I don't think they cover 15 and a half though.
Okay. So since he left, I'll go ahead and shoot my pick.
Yeah.
You know, despite Vanderbilt's new kicker, I think Tennessee rolls and they roll big on this one. Vandy's not good, you know, despite their newest transactions on the field. I think that Tennessee, this is a prove it game. There's a lot riding on this game, and Tennessee's going to win this one. For me?
So
I'm just going to read you some stats here. Without your boy, Jordan Guarantano or whatever it is.
Guantanamo.
They had 2 quarterbacks go 26 for 35 for 232 yards and 2 touchdowns against Florida, one of the best teams in the country. Granted, their defense isn't great. But they hung around with a Florida team that, you know, 12 points, that's in the game, I'd say, for Tennessee standards against Florida.
Yeah.
That's a competitive game. And the reason is they didn't turn the ball over. And I think it's because your boy wasn't at quarterback. So
He ate my
unless they go
fucking-
back, I don't know what they're doing, but if they go back to him, then it's going to be a close game. They
If
roll
he
with these
uses
other
that
two,
extra year eligibility, I'll be in a noose.
I think if Tennessee doesn't go with Guarantano, they roll big. Riley, what do you think?
Tennessee's on a 6-game losing streak, but on the flip side of that,
Easy.
Vanderbilt's on an 8-game losing streak. I'm going with Tennessee. That's a no-brainer.
The state of Tennessee is not strong right now.
Titans are doing all right.
The foundation is kind of crumbling because Derrick Henry is just running all over the goddamn state. Yeah, if Guarantano sees the field again in my life, that is an indictment on Jeremy Pruitt, who is too much of a friend and not enough of a coach. Great X's and O's guy, needs to figure out how to coach, and that's what you get when you hire a guy who's never been a head coach before.
I'm not a
You have
tactician. I'm a motivator.
Live with the growing.
I'm not an X's and O's guy.
Not an X's and O's guy. I'm just here. I'm just here to coach.
All right, next.
They're an O.
Tennessee should win. This is the only game of the year I thought they could win. For fuck's sakes, if they don't win, it's going to be bad.
All right, let's go to our next game. Boise State at Lane Malaise, Wyoming. 60% of Twitter said Boise State. I'm also taking the Broncos. Lane, who do you like?
Same people voting in all these?
This is an obvious win for the Pokes. Are you kidding me? No, take that back. Boise State's really good. This is tough, but you have to go for Wyoming. A couple years ago when they beat Boise, when Boise was like top 5, it was pretty awesome. I don't think that's going to happen, but 11.5. I think they can do it. I think they can win, and I'm giving them full faith. So Wyoming, Josh.
Wyoming lost to 1-3 Colorado State, now 1-5 New Mexico. So they've given 2 teams their only win of the year. Wyoming just is so up and down this year. I think the elevation plays a factor in Laramie, but I think Boise State wins in a less than 12. I think Wyoming covers. Riley, what do you think?
Well, it's going to be I'm just looking outside right now. It's starting to snow. And Laramie's going to be colder than a vampire's demeanor on Saturday. And I still think Boise gets it done, though. It's going to be a shitty game to play in, that's for sure. But I don't know why Wyoming always gives Boise a hard time, but I don't think they're going to do it this year. They just don't have it. And I don't know if Xavier whatever Valladay is out, their top running back. He's actually pretty dang good for YO, but he was out last game, and you could definitely tell.
Mm-hmm.
They missed him.
Jardy?
Boise big.
Yeah, Boise State is not the Boise State of old, but neither is Wyoming. Boise State should not have a problem with a team that lost to fucking Colorado State.
It's a rivalry
State is
game.
so
Anything
goddamn bad. The
About New
culture
Mexico?
in Fort Collins is bad. They don't even have a Hooters anymore. We'll move past
That's the downfall of their program right there.
and
All right,
indictments.
Number 22, Oklahoma State. They travel to Baylor. Baylor, a team that struggled all year. Baylor is a 5-point underdog. Twitter said 94% took OK State. I'm also rolling with Twitter and taking number 22, Oklahoma State. Lane, who do you like in this one and why?
This is an easy Oklahoma State team solely based off the fact that Baylor chugs cock. All right, Borm, your turn, buddy.
Okay, well, Baylor lost by 13 to Oklahoma, 1 to Texas Tech, 7 to Iowa State, 10 to TCU, 11 to Texas. All within 2 scores, all their losses. I think they lose again, but I think it's within 2 scores. So, Riley, what do you think?
I'm going Oklahoma State, even though I hate teams with state in it. We already know it's a state. Thank you, Oklahoma. I'm going OK State. They're going to win big against Baylor. Baylor's really disappointed me this year. Like you said, they're usually one of those teams that are on the top. But yeah, 2-6 so far. I don't think Oklahoma State has a problem with them.
Do you prefer that they would be Oklahoma Tech or Oklahoma A&M?
I just think it's fucked. I think you're like people who have Penn State, whatever, all that crap. I just think that's asinine. I can't stand that. Like we know Oklahoma's a state, jackasses. I'm also kind of a dick. So
Go State.
Virginia State. Let's go Virginia State. Virginia Tech. Virginia
Jordy,
State.
who you taking, Biddy?
Go State.
All right, we're moving on. Number 15, USC. They're traveling to the Bruins of UCLA. UCLA being a 3-point favorite here. What did Twitter say? Twitter said 83% for USC, the Trojans. I'm rolling with Twitter. I know what Jordan's already going to do. He's got a boner for the Trojans. All right, Lane, who do you like, buddy?
Be more awkward.
I hate that USC is making a run for the pack. They'll never be top. There's not going to be a Pac-12 team in the top 8, obviously, but they're making a run for it.
Is that
obvious? What's that?
Is that obvious? They're in my top 8.
Well, I take that with a grain of salt. They're not gonna. They're not gonna. USC's gonna win this one because apparently to Jordan, they're America's team. Let's not forget he said that. So,
Have you
Sure.
seen their
Barney?
cheerleaders? Fuck's sakes, they are America's team.
Well, yeah, you got to like that.
Think
Your turn,
about it.
Barney.
Like you said, Lane, kind of USC is starting to look like a top 25 team more and more each week. They started out not so hot. However, UCLA has losses to Oregon by a field goal and Colorado by a touchdown. And their offense is actually a smidge better than USC's, who Jordan has, as Dallas mentioned, a hard on for. And UCLA's offense is much more balanced, about 250 and 250 rushing and passing a game. I think that's tough to stop if you're USC. So I like UCLA in an upset here for the battle for Los Angeles. Riley, what do you think?
Nice. Well, that's a good pick, Josh. I have USC, but UCLA is going to get after him. I think Slovis is going to throw for 4 touchdowns, and they're going to run away with it. But I think he's also going to get sacked 4 times. It's going to look a little. I don't know what it is about that line at USC, but they cannot get Slovis out of a game without getting sacked 3+ times. So he's
Well,
going
they
to
throw
throw
it 70 times a game. What do you want from them?
I want that line to be like, okay, we got 70 passes. We're not going to let our quarterback get touched. That's our freaking diamond.
David Bakhtiari's.
Jerdy, who do you like in this one, Biddy?
Here's the thing. Last game, USC against Wazoo, Washington State, the Cougs, Mike Leach's former mainstay. They jumped out to a 28-0 lead in the first quarter. Every game this year, UCLA has come out and they've been slow starters, and then they start coming back when other teams are like, yeah, we're up 35. I guess we can fucking quit. And then it gets close, and they're like, Jesus Christ, maybe we should have kept playing. That's what Chip Kelly has going on in UCLA. They're just a scam job. USC has actual potential with them, with Keaton Slovis and Graham Harrell. I think, yet again, they're going to jump out, and it's probably going to be 21-0. And then at the back end, there's going to be a backdoor cover probably from Oregon because the game's already fucking over.
Oregon.
USC wins.
Jesus, are you done yet? All right, next game, Virginia at Virginia Tech.
Chip Kelly, I went in a time machine. What year is it?
Hey, we only got 2 minutes and 30 seconds to get our last 2 picks in. Next is Virginia at Virginia Tech.
Tech.
56% went with Virginia. I'm going with Virginia Tech. Lane, who do you like?
Virginia Tech all day. Borman?
Virginia's 4-1 in their last 5. Virginia Tech's 1-4 in their last 5. I'm going with the Cavs. Riley, what do you got?
I got Virginia. Beat them last year. Going to do it again this year.
Jerry?
Go Tech.
All right, next, our last pick of the evening. Stanford travels to Oregon State. Oregon State being a 3-point underdog. 53% of Twitter likes Stanford. I'm also rolling with the nerds from Stanford. Lane, who do you like?
After watching that offensive line that Payne has created at Oregon State, Oregon State's going to roll, and they're going to beat Stanford. That's my pick for me.
Last team to come to Corvallis is Oregon. And Oregon State beat Oregon at home. So I think they win again. Their balanced offense is too much for Stanford. Riley, what do you think?
I'm going Stanford. Stanford all the way. Going to run it down their throat and beat them.
I think the Beavers have got a lot of promise. I think they show out, prove out, and send those nerds packing. Go Beavs.
Good
Never
call,
bet against
Jerry.
Beavers.
Good call, Jody. Hey, Riley, thanks for coming on the show this week.
As a special favor, could I do one thing? I make bets every week. I'll be quick. I make
Go
bets
ahead,
every
buddy.
week. I pick some big underdogs here. I want you guys to help me make my pick. We got
Go
Michigan State versus Penn State, 15 to cover. Penn State, you think they'll do it? Okay.
No.
I got 21.5 on Bama versus Arkansas. Akron, Buffalo, the Zips. Buffalo is a 32-point favorite. You think they'll cover that? I don't know.
Take
Florida. Florida versus
I
LSU.
don't know.
Florida versus LSU. These are all my picks. I'm going to pick one. Florida versus LSU. Florida's 23.5-point favorite. And
Take
here's
it.
one. This one's a money line. It's plus 8,000. It's Josh Borum actually shows up for his wedding.
I'll take that
And
one.
that's how we're going to end this week of the People's Game Day. I'm Dallas Hanson for Josh Borum, Lane Millay, Lordy Lordy's Jordy, Riley, the greatest guest of all time. Thank you. We'll see you next week.
Cheers, big ears. Thanks a lot, guys.